What's going on, y'all? It's your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the first initial thoughts and impressions for the LG Stylo 4. Now, before I go any further, if I sound a little strange, I am suffering from flu-type symptoms, sore throat, weakness, chills, severe headache, all that kind of thing. So you guys bear with me. I'm the type of person to where I can't stand just sitting around not doing much. I like to feel like I'm being productive. And I got this phone a few days ago, and typically when I get a new phone, I like to get the unboxing and the impressions video up right away. And I just haven't been able to do that because I've been so busy. But I figured, hey, since I'm ill and I'm just resting and not really doing much, I want to get this video out. So you guys bear with me here. All right, so again, first initial thoughts of the LG Stylo 4. Now, as far as the screen, we've got a 6.2-inch 1080 by 2160 pixel HD display. We've got a PPI pixel density of 390. We've got a screen to body ratio of 79.63%. We've got an all metal body. We've got a Snapdragon 450 chip. We've got 2 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of onboard storage that LG is claiming can be expanded up to 2,000 gigs. And we are running Android 8.1 Oreo fresh out of the box with an Adreno 506 GPU. Now the cameras, the primary sensor on the back, we've got a single 13 megapixel sensor, and then on the front, we've got a 5 megapixel selfie camera here on the front. And some of the features that we've got, you can take photos while you're recording. So if you're recording video and you stumble across something that you just want to capture, you can go ahead and capture still shots while you're recording. We've got a video light, video calling, video sharing. In the front camera, we got autofocus and HDR mode. Now, as far as the battery, we've got a 3,300 milliamp non-removable battery. LG is claiming 15.33 hours of talk time on one charge, and they're claiming 21 days of standby time on one charge. Okay, we do have an FM radio present. We do have NFC present. We do have Type-C USB 2.0 present that does support fast charging. We do have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on board, and we are running Bluetooth 4.2 as opposed to Bluetooth 5.0. Now, as you guys can see, as far as the screen here, it's nice to see that the Stylo line has adopted the 18:9 aspect ratio. We've got the thin bezels on the sides. You can see on the bottom we've got a little bit of a chin and a little bit of a forehead up top of the device. But it's good to see the Stylo line join the party with the new aspect ratio. And so again, here's our 5 megapixel sensor, here's our ear receiver, and then we do have an LED light up there that flashes different colors for different notifications that we have, and that is a notification from my son. So as I mentioned, 6.2-inch panel, corner to corner. We do have the touch capacitive keys here on the bottom, which those can be customized. And so typically out of the box, you've got your back, home, and recents over here. Well, I like to change that orientation just because I typically hold all of my phones with my right hand, and I like to be able to access all of those buttons with my thumb here. And it's nice because you can throw other little things into the little bar there. And so right here I've got my screen capture mode, and so if I just want to take a screenshot of anything, then I can just go ahead and push that button right there and it'll capture whatever's on my screen. And I'll show you guys how to enable that in the settings a little later in the video. Now hit the power button to the right side of the device, it's clean, and then we've got the power button here. There's no rigidity. I don't think LG felt the need to do that just because the volume marker is actually on the left side, and so this particular device, it doesn't have the power key and the volume marker all on the right side. You've got the power key on the right side, and then the volume markers are on the left side. Now, up top of the device, we've got an antenna line, noise canceling mic, another antenna line right there. To the left of the device, here is, if you guys can see in the little glare, this is our volume marker up and down. And then here is our SIM ejection tray right here, and we've just got we've got a single nano SIM and an SD card slot for memory expansion. So there is no hybrid SIMs on this particular device. And so at the bottom, here's our 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, another antenna line there. There's a little noise canceling microphone right there. Here's our Type-C port for charging, and then here's our bottom firing speaker. And then this is where we keep the stylus pin, and that's another one of the notable features of the Stylo line is the stylus pin that comes with it. And it's interesting because this is really the only other option that we've got that can really compete with the Note as far as a phone that has a stylus. And so I'm curious to know why LG doesn't market this particular device as something to really truly rival the Samsung Galaxy Note series. They continue to budget it as or market it as more of a budget device, hence the specs that come within it. And I'm not exactly sure why that is, but nonetheless, I mean, you're getting a lot of bang for the buck. This phone is not it's not really all that expensive at all whatsoever. I believe the full retail is $299 or $249.99. I could be mistaken, but I know that if you get this at certain carriers, which I think the only two carriers right now that are selling this phone is Metro PCS, which is who had it first, and then as of a few days ago, Verizon, not Verizon, but T-Mobile started selling this device as well. So I believe if you're not a customer with Metro PCS and you sign up, I believe you can get this phone for either $199 or $150. T-Mobile, they've got a deal going on right now. If you lease this phone, it's only going to cost you about $10 a month, which is not bad at all for what you're getting. Now, the back of the device, you see we've got the LG branding. Here is our rear-mounted fingerprint sensor, LED flash, and then here's our 13 megapixel sensor here. And as you guys can see, we've got this little shiny back. It's not glass. It's just more of like a glossy type of finish, and you guys can see just all the smudge and things on it. I mean, it is definitely a fingerprint magnet, and so if you want to keep your device attractive looking, then you definitely want to throw a case on it, and also keep it from getting scratched up and smudged and all that kind of thing. If you like to rock it butt naked, then I would definitely recommend you keep a microfiber cleaning cloth close by, because this phone will get smudged up, and as you can see, it's not the most attractive when it's smudged up. Now, the fingerprint sensor here, it's not the fastest fingerprint sensor. I've definitely seen faster, but I also have seen worse. And as far as a fingerprint sensor, I mean, I would definitely have one and it just be mediocre as opposed to not have the option to have one at all. And so I'm not saying this one's mediocre. I mean, it does work 100% of the time. It just takes a little longer than other fingerprint scanners when you're talking about the likes of OnePlus or the likes of Huawei or Honor, phones that have lightning quick fingerprint sensors. This isn't quite to that level, but nonetheless, I mean, it's gonna do the job. We do also have facial recognition on board as well, and so double tap. We do have the double tap to lock and double tap to wake the screen. So if you double tap, wake the screen, and hold it up to eye level, then it just went ahead and opened up. You guys saw that. I'll display that again really quickly. Okay, double tap, hold it up eye level. Okay, so it didn't respond as fast that time because I'm like right in front of the camera and I did it so you guys could see it. But nonetheless, I mean, it does work. It's just one of those things. You have to hold it up just right eye level. And typically it unlocks the device faster than what you just saw. Like I said, my face is right in front of the camera, so that's why it kind of stuttered a little bit. Typically it unlocks faster than that. Now we do have Android 8.1 Oreo fresh out of the box. And you can see when we scroll down, this is how you get to your quick toggles, and then scroll down again. Well, this is your quick toggles and your notifications if you've got any notifications right there. Here are a bunch more toggles, and you can customize these to your liking. You can kind of move them around and have them in the particular order that you want them in, which is always a nice feature to have. Now, if we pop into the settings, I'm a huge fan of this tab view that only LG seems to offer, right? A lot of the other devices, they seem to come in this list view, and you can tell that this is Oreo because this list it's much more consolidated. It has that much more clean look and feel, which is what we were introduced to when we first started seeing phones that had Oreo on it, right? But LG is the only device that allows you to change it to a tab view. And I know that some people they don't like this, but I feel like for just the amount of people out there that don't like it, there's about the same amount of people that love it, you know. Oh, excuse me. And I'm one of those people that absolutely loves it. I mean, just network, you've got all your network settings there. You go into sound, you've got all your sound settings and customizations there. You go into display, here's all your display customizations. And then when you go into general, this is all your general notifications. And so I really love the way that LG organizes this for you as opposed to having to scroll all through the settings to find certain things. And to be honest, I mean, when Oreo first rolled out, I mean, it wasn't the most user friendly as far as finding where things were. I know that sometimes it would show like certain things, like it would say like network, Bluetooth, and all that, but then there'll be some other things because they couldn't fit everything on the line, and you may be looking for one of those things that weren't on the line because they couldn't fit it in there, and then you're just either thinking that the device doesn't have the function, or you're just having a hell of a time finding it. And so I like this particular setup. I wish that I can have this set up on all my phones because I feel like this is extremely convenient. But that's just me. All right. So now under network, you do see we've got NFC right there. And so that's confirmation that that is on board. Now, now I'm also a fan of the things that LG provides us with to be able to customize our devices. And I've seen this on other devices, but it's good to see that they've got stuff like this on this particular device as well. And I'm all about being able to customize my device as much as I possibly can, just so that my device isn't looking like anyone else's device, right? And so I like the fact that for vibration, LG, they give us some different options on the type of vibration type, and if that's what we want to do, vibrate on tap. I got that turned off because that drains battery. um, Now if we pop into display settings, if you go into home screen, oh, meant to hit home screen. If you go on the home screen and then select home, this is where LG gives you the choice to choose between all of your apps on the screen, just kind of like the iPhone feel, or you can have the home and app drawer, which basically gives you an app drawer. And if you want to keep all your home screens nice and clean with no apps, then all your apps will be situated in the app drawer. Me personally, I've gotten so used to having all my apps on different screens that I can just scroll back and forth too. So I just rock with the home screen being what it is. And then we also have an easy home mode right there, which shows a simple layout with a large font size. And so that's like, if you've got small kids and you want to simplify things for them a little bit, then you can go ahead and hit that easy mode, and it should accommodate their needs with your device. Now, you go under wallpaper, we can change a bunch of different wallpapers in LG. If you pop in the LG world, then you can customize your themes and all that kind of thing and really give the phone a different look, right? Now, screen swipe effect, I'm a huge fan of this because I like to change my transition effects. And you guys already know one of my favorites is the carousel effect. I mean, we do have slide, which is just the conventional slide right and left. We've got breeze, we've got panorama, and then we've got carousel. And carousel is when when you're scrolling, it just looks like the apps are getting ready to pop out at you. It's a pretty remarkable 3D effect. And I'll show that to you once I go back to my home screen where all the apps are. But it's a pretty nice feature to have. All right, now pop back into display settings, and we've got app scaling, and so a lot of the applications that aren't the full screen aren't filled up because the apps aren't optimized for the new aspect ratio. You can basically customize that to where every application that you open up, if you wanted to take advantage of that full 18:9 aspect ratio, then you can definitely do that. We can change the screen resolution, and this is a new one as far as a budget device or mid-range device is concerned. Now this phone is full 1080p, so there's no 4K or quad HD or anything like that, and so the screen resolution, I've got it in 2160 by 1080, but you can lower it to 1440 by 720 if you're just trying to save some battery life or something like that. Then you can change that, and then when you choose whatever you choose, you just go ahead and hit apply down there at the bottom of the screen, and then that particular function is applied. And so I think that's a pretty nice feature to have. Now we do have mini view, which is basically just the one-handed mode. And so there's a little tutorial. If you like for your one-handed mode screen to be more on the right side of the screen, then you just swipe to the right on the bottom bars, and then here is your one-handed mode for all of you righties. And then to get it back to its normal orientation, you just swipe left on it. Okay. Okay, well, I guess you swipe back right. Now, if you want it on the left side, then you just swipe left on the bottom of the screen. And now it's on the left side. And you can adjust this. You can have it in the middle of the screen, at the top left, top right, top middle, or left middle, right middle, pretty much wherever you want it. If it's whatever's convenient for you, then you can do that. And so that's a nice feature to have, especially considering that this phone is pretty big. As I mentioned, it's a 6.2-inch panel. So definitely good to see stuff like that on the device. And then if we pop into general here, under some of the extra things under extensions, you've got smart cleaning. If you go into gaming, you have game tools. And so, get more out of gaming by tapping the game tool icon in a game graphics, break time. I mean, just something that will notify you if you've been playing the game for a while that, hey man, you need to take a break and rest your eyes a little bit. Now here is the pin options right here. We've got open when pin is removed, which is the setting that I currently have it under. Pin pop shortcut, which is when I take the pin out, then all these little shortcuts just pop up on the screen. Screen off memo, that's basically if the screen is locked and I pop the pin out, then I'll just be able to scribble and make notes on the lock screen and still be able to save it to my note apps or my memo apps, or save it to your gallery, whatever you want to save it to. Pin detection is sound or vibrate when you remove or insert the pin, just to let you know that, hey, you took the pin out and the phone is recognizing that, so it'll make a little sound and it'll vibrate. Now pin keeper is pretty slick, because if you take the pin out and you leave it out for an extensive period of time, or if you move away from it far enough, then the phone will send you a little alert and it'll vibrate, indicating that, hey man, you forgot the pin, you need to put it back in. And so say if you set it down and you grab your phone and walk away, then it'll notify you that the pin isn't inserted into the pin slot. And so that's a pretty cool little feature to have. And then you see here we've got knock on, knock off. I love that feature. I mean, every phone that feature is on, I always enable it. I mean, it's something nice about just being able to double tap your phone to put it to sleep, and then double tap it again to wake it up. So I'm a huge fan of that. Now, if we pop into about phone and then go into, wait, not status. All right, so pop into about phone, and under software info, here's where it confirms we've got an Android version 8.1, and then you see there we've got the June 1st, 2018 security patches, and so that's one of the latest security patches. Interestingly enough, I don't see the gigs of RAM and the storage confirmed here on the software info. Typically that is listed there, and I've kind of looked through other options, and I just don't see where that is listed at. But trust me when I tell you, this phone only has 2 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of onboard storage. Now, here is that little 3D effect that I was talking about when you scroll the apps, and you see how it just kind of looks like the apps are just popping out at you. It looks like it's going to come out of the screen. I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, it's just a really slick looking wallpaper. It's a slick looking transition effect, right? Now, as far as performance is concerned, we'll pop into the Bible app here. Again, Snapdragon 450. I believe the Stylo 3 had the Snapdragon 435. And so I've been reading that this phone there's been some gripes about it, because people really want, LG, I hope this video finds you, because people really want this phone to be marketed to directly rival the Note. And maybe it is, but when you think of the Note, you're getting top of the line everything, and you know that when the Note 9 drops, that phone is probably not going to be anything less than $1,000. I'll be highly surprised if that phone is under $1,000. But considering that the Stylo is the only other device that has a stylus pen, and granted, I mean, it is way cheaper than the Note, and although the Note, as far as the pen is concerned, offers more, some of the most essential things that you can do with the S Pen, you more than likely are able to do with the stylus pen here on the LG. But at the same time, as far as performance is concerned, the Note just blows this completely out of the water. And so, me personally, I don't understand why this phone didn't have like a Snapdragon 636 or a Snapdragon 660 with either 3 or 4 gigs of RAM. Definitely would have helped things out in the performance department. Now, I'm not saying that this phone is bad as far as performance. I mean, I've seen a couple of little hiccups and stutters here and there. But I just feel like things would be be much more smooth and clean and much more buttery smooth and fluid if it had more RAM. But here is just going to open up some apps just to kind of see, how long it takes for those to open up. And here is the Bible app. You guys go ahead and get that up in your system. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Get that up in your system, man. All right. Now, let's pop over to Google real quick. Okay. Wow. Huawei has already sold 100 million devices in 2018. Whoa. Huawei ain't playing, man. They got some great devices, and so that doesn't surprise me at all whatsoever. Now, let's pop into SoundCloud real quick. And my music apps, I mean, these are applications that have really big files because I have a lot of music, especially Spotify here. Spotify, even with phones that have the Snapdragon 845, 6 gigs of RAM, and all that kind of thing, it always takes Spotify a second or two to open up just because it's loading up all this music and all these different playlists and things that I've got saved in them. But you see how that just opened up. Let's see. Let's go to my shopping. Let's pop into Amazon real quick, see if there's any Prime deals still popping off. Okay, so you saw how that just opened up real quick. Deal of the day. Not interested in that. But pop into my Best Buy app real quick. And like I said, I'm just opening applications just to give you guys an idea of how snappy this phone may be if this is an option that you decide to go with. And so, it's actually it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely going to do, all that you would need it to do. But I mean, I think with the processor, with the 450 processor with 2 gigs of RAM, I mean, you're going to be able to game, but some of those more graphically intense games, I mean, that would run buttery smooth on, the likes of a flagship device with the top end 2018 specs, you may run into some problems on a device like this because of the specs that it is housing. You may run into some glitches. Things may not be as smooth, and it may not be able to render, a lot of the graphics and things depending on the type of game that you're playing and depending on how graphically intense it is. But when I hit recents, I mean, you'll see, I mean, there is a bunch of applications open, and as far as the RAM management is concerned, thus far, things seem to be okay. Now, let's pop back into my Google Translate, and that didn't take too much time to reload. Amazon Assistant. Let's see. Let's pop in the Metro Mile. This is my car insurance app, which is actually pretty slick. So it had to fully reload that, but again, that still doesn't take too much time. Let's go on to LG Smart World. So it had to fully reload that, people. I mean, it's not like you're waiting an eternity. Now, I am connected to my Wi-Fi. Data speeds may be a little different. They may be a little faster or slower depending on whether or not you're on a 4G or a 3G connection. Now, this is the Metro PCS variant. I don't have a box, and so I couldn't do an unboxing because I got this phone for a deal. I got it for $100, and it's just I know people, and I seem to get little perks here and there. So I bought it for $100 even, and so I'm like, hey, the phone is brand new, $100 even. I don't need no box. So I'm just waiting on my unlock code to come in so I can pop my T-Mobile SIM card in it because I do not have service with Metro PCS, and I don't want to start service with them just to be able to use this particular device. So, but you can get this phone through T-Mobile and Metro PCS right now as we speak. Actually, I think you can get this phone at Cricket Wireless as well. And it's interesting because I read something that the Cricket Wireless version actually has 3 gigs of RAM. I'm not exactly sure how true that is, so that's something that you guys would have to research a little further. But yeah, as far as I know right now, this phone is offered at Metro PCS, Cricket Wireless, and T-Mobile. Now, if we pop into the camera, and I'm just going to show you guys some photos that I took. So this is some photos that I took the other night with this particular device. There's me behind the camera on that day. I don't want to take a selfie right now just because I'm in my hoodie, and I got a little mask over my face just because I'm sick, and I got babies in the house. I don't want to infect them with whatever I've contracted. So don't want you guys to see me like that, you know what I mean? But these are some still shots that I took the other day, some selfies. Again, we've got a 5 megapixel sensor here, and in these particular lighting conditions, I mean, the phone takes pretty phenomenal photos. But definitely stay tuned because I'm going to have a dedicated camera video that I'm going to be doing just specifically displaying still shot photos and video imagery from this particular camera. Now, if we go back to the viewfinder, and we do have Q lens right there. So when you tap on Q lens, you've got visual shopping, visual search, and scan QR code. And then just to go out of that, you just tap Q lens again. All right. Now, we do have the ability to change the mode. And you can see we've got auto, food. If I can get the camera to focus, that would be pretty nice. We've got match shot, gesture shot, snapshot, grid shot. Oops. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Panorama and flash jump cut. I'm not sure what flash jump cut is, so I have to further research that. And then if we hit that little button right here, it just brings up little filters and things that we can change just to kind of give the photo a bit of a different type of effect. Here is the button to swing around to the selfie cam. As I mentioned, I'm just going to stay behind. Oh, what the hell? Got my mask pulled down here so I won't sound all muffled. I know I look like a terrorist. What's up, y'all? It's your man, Pristine. Yeah. Now, another good thing about the front-facing camera is we do have a wide-angle feature. As you can see, the two little options right there. So it's in wide-angle feature right now, but if we go ahead and hit that, now this is just a regular viewfinder right here. So this is what that looks like when you take it out of that wide-angle feature. So it's nice that you've got that on the front camera. Would have been nice if you had that on the rear camera as well. I know that LG is pretty notorious for having that wide-angle feature on a lot of their devices. But nonetheless, I mean, a lot of people would prefer to have that wide-angle lens while they're taking selfies so that they can get more in the shot. So it's good that LG put that in place. Right now, if we go to settings, then we've got HDR, steady recording, cheese, shutter, tag locations, grid, add signature, and help. And then you see at the bottom, here is where we've got full vision, which if we tap on full vision, then what that is giving us the full screen effect as opposed to just the 4:3. And so I actually prefer for it to be in the 4:3, which is this way. And so I just keep it that way. Now, as you can see right there, 4:3, 13 megapixel, full HD recording. And I'll go ahead and tap on that so you can see the different recording modes right there. Okay, so we do not have 4K recording on this particular device. Okay, and then we have the timer there, and the timer either gives you 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or 10 seconds. So, all right, now when you pop out the stylus pen, you kind of have to fit your fingernail underneath it. There's a little bit of a groove that's right there, and there's that little vibration and that little click sound. And when you take out the pen, then this is the pop-up menu. You've got pop menu. Didn't mean to get rid of it. But yeah, you've got pop menu, capture plus, gift capture, and pop lens. Okay. And so you can go ahead and tap that to get rid of those little quick initial toggles. And you can move this around, to where you want it, or you can just go ahead and move it up to the trash and just get it off your screen completely if it's not something that you can stand looking at. But that's what's typically going to pop up on your screen when you remove the device, when you remove the stylus pen from the device. And here is the way the stylus pen looks. And so typically that groove needs to be facing left, like this way, and then that's how you insert it into the phone. And if you try to push it in there in another orientation, it's just not going to work. Okay, now when the screen is locked and you take out the pin, then this is when you're able to make little notes on the screen. And that's pretty dope. You know, excuse my sloppy handwriting, but hey, man, it is what it is. Trust me, I've got excellent penmanship, you know. So that's a pretty nice little feature to have. You know, if you're just need to jot something down on the fly, you're out and about. And, you know, I know for me, you know, I'm getting a little older. You know, I'll be 40 in a couple of months, and I just have so many things going on. Sometimes it's best for me to write things down, and I'm very meticulous, very OCD. I don't like disorganization and a lot of clutter, you know, papers and stuff all over the place. And so something like this is perfect for me because if there's something that I need to jot down, you know, as opposed to just going, I have a note app where I can just make little notes in that, but that's still typing on a digital display. I mean, it's a little bit of a different feel when you can just pull out a pen and you can just jot what you need down real quick, and then you can hit that little check right there, and you can go ahead and save it. You know, and then you can just, you know, go back to it whenever you need to. And then we've got the little eraser right there where you can just go in and erase what you wrote if that's what you want to do, you know. And so, yeah, I mean that's just some of the features and the function of the S Pen, the Stylus pen, and definitely gonna have more on the Stylus pen in the full pristine review. So you guys definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got for the LG Stylo 4. I'm, like I said, just waiting for my unlock code to come. It should be here tomorrow or at some point, so I definitely plan on getting my main SIM card in here and using it as my daily driver and just really putting it through its paces and getting some real world usage. And then that's going to be followed up with the camera review, so stay tuned for that. And of course, that's going to be followed up with the full pristine review just to give you my overall thoughts after extensive use. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. Much love to all of my subscribers. Everybody that's been rocking with me for a while, I love and appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the comments and the questions and things. Those things keep me grounded, help me, you know, keep my ear to gaining as much information as possible just to help you guys make an informed decision. That's what I do this for. Alright, so if you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons more videos that I've done like this one. And definitely stay tuned because I've got so much more content to come. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that whenever I upload, you'll be the first to get it and you can watch the content and drop your comments, voice your opinions, thoughts, or feedback. And, you know, I'll be in the comment section, you know, reading your comments and questions and things, and I'll get back in contact with you as soon as I possibly can. So in the meantime, definitely stay safe. You know, it's summertime, it's hot in a lot of places, and I know a lot of times when it get hot, things start happening. You know, but things happen all the time, but more things happen when it gets hot. So please be aware of your surroundings, be safe, get spiritually fit, definitely get Christ off in your life, and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.